Olive is not happy that I turned on the big light so early in the morning to record my tea. Are you? No, I'll shut it off. I'm sorry. Thank you for being so patient. Are you a good girl? Camera on, and the way, like, I need to get a regular camera that's not my phone. Good morning. I was editing last night's Vlogmas video, and I realized that I had really, like, I don't know, cut together the video a little bit weird. I still think it's probably one of my, like, one of the vlogs that I'm the most happy about how it turned out. But I think that I did not tell you the color for the advent from yesterday. And I'm not going to tell you the color for today's right now either, because I don't have the paper in here with me, and I let time get away from me this morning. After I made my tea, I was just knitting on my socks for like a half an hour watching YouTube videos, and I needed to go to work in about 15 minutes, and I'm still not ready to go. Like, I need to eat breakfast still, so I thought I would quickly show you what day 6, it's December 6th, of the Advent looks like. I need to brush my hair. I still have so much to do. But yeah, I thought I would show you what this looks like, and then in the very next clip that I show you of me at home after work, I will tell you the colorways for yesterday's color and today's color, and I will show you the color that I'm substituting in for my blanket for yesterday and for today. So we're going to have a little sneak peek of what the yarn is for today, and then we will go over everything. So I hope that works out. Oh, this is really pretty. So I had kind of been peeking ahead at certain colors in order to make sure that they would go in my blanket. And so I knew in advance that this color was very like bright and colorful, and it's very cheery, it's very Mardi Gras, but like it is not in the like pastel-y vibes of what I want this blanket to look like. What's so funny is that I think I talked about this yesterday, is that it feels kind of like the Advent scrap minis, whatever, are like solidly in two different styles. It's like the very like soft colors, and then the very bright and like kind of bold. And yeah, there's nothing like, so far there's nothing in between that's like moody, dark, jewel toned. It's all, I mean, I guess day one was kind of jewel toned, but it's all like very soft or very punchy. And yeah, and so I think I also showed this yesterday. I had done like one of the half square triangles for the crochet quilt using day 1 and day 5, which were both very kind of out there, and I loved how it looked. So I have a feeling that I am like moving towards what will ultimately be 2 different blankets. And because I'm gonna make quilt blocks for each of them, each of the like color schemes, the bright and punchy and the soft. And when I'm all done, I'm going to lay them out and try and see if I can assemble them in the same quilt together. But I have a feeling I'm like headed towards having two like throw blanket sized blankets of the same pattern but in different color schemes, and that is totally okay. Okay, that's propped up there kind of precariously. That's so much better. This is a really squishy ball of yarn, so I get it. Okay, I'm back from work, and I promised to have my next clip talking about yarn things from yesterday and today, so I will do that in like 4 seconds. Okay, like 40 seconds. But first, I got home to a big box on my chair because my David's tea order that was held up in customs for like 2 weeks. Today's the 6th. It was held up in customs for like 2 weeks. I was getting an email from David's Tea every 2 days saying, hey, we're aware that your package is not moving. It is waiting to be cleared through customs. And I'm like, thanks, David's Tea. You don't have to send that email every other day. I understand. Anyways, I got a new mug. I feel like for me, like, I think it's fun to get a new David's Tea mug every year. Last year it was a like glass, like translucent purple one, which broke. And then I bought the kitty one to replace it. You guys have seen that one probably on the podcast at least. And so this year's mug is the, what is this design called? I don't remember what this design is called, but it is basically clouds. The box is sort of a sneak peek. See, it's so pretty. And it comes with the lid, and it comes with the infuser. So I am going to wash those really quick and make myself an afternoon cup of tea. And I'm probably going to use some of the new tea I ordered, because you can't order your annual mug from David's Tea without also getting some more actual tea. And because they're in Canada and it's harder to get a little bit, shipping has always been like a little bit longer than anywhere else, and it's always, I feel like, maybe a little bit more expensive. But yeah, with the new like tariff situation over the last year, everything just takes longer. Okay, so I got carrot cake. I haven't tried these, by the way. Well, 2 of them I haven't tried. I got the carrot cake, and this is a pu'er type of tea, that word. Which is a type of black tea. So I got the carrot cake flavor. And then another new one is called lavender buttercream, and this is a rooibos tea. Lavender buttercream, candied pineapple, apple, lavender, natural biscuit butter flavoring. Ooh, this sounds ridiculous and delightful. I'm very excited. That's gonna taste like cake, I think. Like not cake, but like icing on a cake. Anyway, this is one of my favorites, and I thought I ordered a bigger bag of this, but maybe I didn't. I'll double check my order because sometimes people make mistakes. But it might have been my mistake. This is the Throat Rescue Herbal Tea. And this is one of my favorites. It has licorice root, fennel, nanamint, anise, ginger, peppermint, nettle leaves, black pepper, cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, marigold blossoms, and cornflower blossoms. It is one of my favorite. I have several like throat teas that I really like. I really love the one from Traditional Medicinals. I honestly really like just, I buy loose nettle, like dry nettle, and I actually picked nettle at my friend's property this year, so I have my own dried nettle as well. But I like taking nettle and peppermint, just like straight also peppermint that I can buy in bulk, and mixing those like 1:2 or 1:3 ratio, more peppermint. And that's super duper tasty. The nettle really helps. Anyways. But yeah, this is one of my favorite throat teas, and because I have been feeling some throat pain and a little bit of congestion, this is what I want right now. So I'm going to steep this, and while it is steeping, I am going to go get the yarn from today, and we're going to talk about the yarn. I don't know how much I said yesterday. I don't remember. So yesterday's yarn was this yarn, day 5. And again, so extremely gorgeous. Just not the vibes that I feel like I want to do with this blanket, where like colors 2 and 3 were really more cohesive, and colors 2, 3, and 4 were really more cohesive, and day 1 really stood out from those. And I ultimately decided that the color palette of like soft colors from days 2, 3, and 4 is really more my speed for what I want with this blanket. That doesn't mean I don't like the colors from day 1 and day 5, but it just, that's kind of mentally, I had already married myself to the idea of the blanket being more soft colors. And then when I had put days 1 and 5 together, which are not really supposed to be together in any of the indicated instructions of the pattern, but when I put those together, I decided, well, those are extremely gorgeous together. So I am keeping all of what I'm considering to be like my cast-offs, like my ones that are not going to fit into the soft colors blanket. I'm keeping those, and I'm going to make a couple of quilt blocks out of those, and then if I have enough, then there'll be another whole blanket. If I don't have enough, maybe it'll be a pillow or something. Anyways, so today's color, oh, and yesterday's color, I wasn't sure if I had told you what yesterday's color was. So this color from yesterday, number 5, is the Wisconsin state colorway, because the colors were ones that Natalie had picked up during her 50 states tour. And so she had a bunch of yarn, at least one, but multiples most of the time for all the different states. So this one was from Wisconsin. It's from Stitch Stuff Yarn, and it is the Lulu colorway. Okay, so let's look at today's. Yes, okay, this was Louisiana. I guessed it based on the color. If, I guess, of course you remember this morning because I literally just talked about this to you like 10 minutes ago on the video, but for me, that was 7 or 8 hours ago. Okay, so this morning's is from Louisiana. I'm so sorry, I'm getting really sniffly. From Teeny Button Studio in the Mardi Gras Mambo colorway. So yeah, very cute. I really do like the color. It's just, again, not in this more like softer sort of like palette that I want, but I could see these being maybe not in a quilt block next to each other, but in the same blanket. So this one, day 6, today's date, is also getting an alternate color. So let me show you the alternate colors for days 5 and 6, because I don't think I showed them yesterday. Might have showed day 5. So this is the alternate color for day 5. On camera it does look a little bit more vibrant than it really is. It gets kind of blown out, but that's what it looks like. So it's not super muted and toned down, and that's not what I'm asking for out of these colors. Like, for instance, this was day 3, I think, this color, and that's not a super toned down sort of guy either, right? But it's just not as bright and punchy as the other ones. So like, these are on the similar wavelength, I feel like. So do you see the vision that I'm visioning with this blanket? I hope you do. So, okay, so day 3, I'm putting that back in here. I still need to make several of the blocks from day 3, but we're not going to talk about that. I do have, or squares, not blocks. I do have all of the squares that I need for the 11th block, and that's why that's labeled. But I still need to make a bunch of squares for block 15 out of color 3, which is why that's right there. So for day 5 yesterday, I needed to make 4 squares out of the day 5 color. So this is my alternate color, and I made 1 of them so far, and then I need to make some more undyed main color neutral squares. But day 6 today, we are, let me show you the alternate for day 6. Oh, the day 5 colorway, this is the Shipwrecked Sheep Squish Sock in the Magnolia colorway. I dyed this, you know, way back when I was dyeing yarn, and this is like a 30-gram leftover from some socks I made. And it reminded me, when I pulled this scrap out, it reminded me that I have not seen those socks. They weren't in when we went through socks together. They weren't in the socks that I washed. They weren't, like, there was not a single sock that didn't have its mate or anything. So I don't know what happened to the pair of these socks. They were some of my favorite socks that I ever knit, so I'm a little sad about that. Anyway, this is the colorway that I am substituting for day 6. So you'll notice that it is similar-ish, and that is okay because the pattern doesn't really ever have you using a consecutive day color together. So like day 1 and 2, never together. Day 3 and 4, never together. Day 7 and 9, or 7 and 8, never together, etc. All of them are at least like 1 removed. And that's because in the pattern was designed to be used with an advent that is a gradient. So like you wouldn't want to put 2 like really close pinks together. So So I don't mind that I am essentially allowing it to be more of a gentle, true gradient here in this phase of the pattern. So this was day 4's colorway. This was from the Advent. And this is what I'm putting in day 5. And these do vary quite a bit, especially on camera, but they're not too different in real life. And then this color. Ooh. So this would be days 4, 5, and 6 in the pattern. So colors 4, 5, and 6. It's not days 4, 5, and 6 for the Advent because this was the only one from the Advent, but they just have a closer color progression in my mind than the way the original Advent colors are progressing. So like if I had kept going, 4, 5, and 6 would have looked like this. And they just are so extremely differing in like style of color. You know what I mean? So all of that to say, these are our substitutes and the ones that are actually going to be used in my Advent project, the Imagination Quilt by Meema Makes. If I didn't say that already, I need to stop taking these in and out of these little muslin bags. Wait, is this the right one? Nope, this is a different one. That one's the day 4 one. So yeah, this is the one I need to make. I need to make 3 more squares. I already started, like I'm at the first round. So this one I need to make 3 more of this color to kind of catch up to yesterday's. I still have to make the neutral main color ones to fully catch up for yesterday's, but I'm not actually that worried about it. And then this colorway will be for today. And today's instructions are 8 half square triangles with colors 2 and 6. So, color 2, I know I have it up here. Color 2, if you don't remember, is from Paper Crane Yarns in the Aura colorway. So these two will go nicely together. They, complement each other very nicely. They have kind of a similar style of speckling with the very different base tone or base color. So they will contrast very well, but they have the same sort of energy. So I'm very excited to do a bunch of half square triangles with these 2 colors. And this colorway, if I am not mistaken, I might be, is, I think, Muddy Dress. And this was also a Shipwrecked Sheep colorway on the squish sock base, which is the same base as my undyed neutral main color and the same as this. I think it is. There is a small possibility that this was on the basic sock base, which was 100% superwash merino instead of 75-25. But either way, it's a 2-ply high twist sock yarn. Anyway, yeah, I just had the random mini. I have a lot of leftover scraps of yarn that I had dyed from when I was either just making projects for myself out of my own yarn, or making samples, or I have a ton of yarn that was like one-off, one-of-a-kinds. When I was doing clubs, I would keep a lot of, like this one was a one-of-a-kind. I showed you this the other day, I think. This one was a one-of-a-kind, or maybe a club colorway. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, I love it. So I have a lot of my own yarn, and that's why this one doesn't have a label, because it was just a random one-off. But yeah, this was a regular colorway. It's just a mini skein of it, and it should be enough. I'm now a little bit worried that it was not a mini skein, but was like an actual leftover that I just like skeined up. It's 18.3 grams, so it might have been like it might have been just like a leftovers. But I think it was called Muddy Dress. Those of you who have been hanging out with me on the internet for quite a while, or had bought some of my yarn, or if you're like my best friend Atlas or like my sister Erin, any of you are welcome to chime in the comments below if you think I'm wrong about what colorway this is, or to confirm that I am right. I think this is Muddy Dress, I think it was called. I don't remember. Anyways, so this is my day 6. Or color number 6. I need to get better about like mentally calling them different things, because this is not day 6. It was not part of the advent, but it is color 6. So in the future, and while I'm referring to this project, I think it's important that I refer to the actual ones where I'm using the advent as day 4. And the ones where I'm using an alternate color, I can call it the alternate color, but I think it's important that I say that it is color 6, because it has nothing to do with the advent. Yeah. Last thing before I go ahead and make some squares. I also got this from David's Tea because it was on sale while I was shopping. It is like a gummy candy, and it's like maple flavored. Squishcandies.com, bonbonsquish.com, Canada. So let's try it. They're different colors, but I'm assuming it's like one flavor. They're not like super like squishy gummy candies. Like they have like a, like they're kind of firm. I'm not really getting maple off of that. Once I started chewing, it was a little mapley. Hey, do you want to try a maple candy? What do you think?
Flavor's not super strong for me.
Yeah, because you're not feeling well. Yeah.
Yeah. But it seems like sweet.
Yeah, I wasn't getting a real strong mapley flavor either. I was just getting like a sweet flavor, like a sweet kind of, maybe slightly berry-like. It does say that it contains glucose syrup, sugar, and maple syrup, water, pectin, citric acid, natural flavor, natural colors of black currant and black carrot, and carnauba wax for a glazing agent. Yeah, I'm just getting like sweet flavor, sugary flavor. It's good. They're very good, but I'm not getting maple out of that. There's like, it's like the liqueur of maple. You know what I mean? Like, you get that little hint, that little mist of maple right at the end. Don't judge me. I am absolutely somebody who knows things about maple. Not just like maple flavored corn syrup. I grew up in the northern part of Minnesota. We tapped our maple trees over the winter and made fresh maple syrup. We buy fresh maple syrup. I do also eat maple flavored corn syrup with my waffles. I do. But I also eat maple syrup with my pancakes and maple syrup as a sweetener in other things sometimes. That doesn't taste very mapley. Okay, I'm going to grab my tea and then I'm going to relax and crochet some squares and maybe knit some more of the sock. Here's how far I got last night. And I think a couple of these rows I did this morning. But I'm going to put the contrast color in here, and that's why I had to stop. Okay, just a quick check-in. It is many, many hours later. It's actually really late. It's like 8 o'clock. And I need to actually start editing the vlog, and I realized that I just got distracted by projects and things and did not, like, even finish vlogging. So, here's where I am with my sock. Just hear me out. It's I think it'll make sense when you see like the whole thing done. So we're just gonna trust the process with this one, okay? I did not actually make any of today's color, nor did I do anything with today's advent. I think that I had only finished one of these from day 5 color, and okay, I was like, is that still attached? So this is color 5 for the blanket. I need to make 2 more of these because I need 4 solid squares, and then I need to use color 5 with the, nope, color 6. This is color 6. Color 6 and color number 2, which is the day 2 advent, I also need to do for the blanket. And I'm already behind on the blanket, so I mean, not doing this just puts me further behind. So my actual baseline goal for tonight is to make the other 2 solid color squares out of color number 5. I don't plan on doing any of the like undyed neutral main colors that I needed to do yesterday. I don't intend to catch up to that at this point, but I mean, I will eventually, but not today. So yeah, busy Saturday. I am looking forward to tomorrow. Sundays tend to be the most like craft productive days for me, and generally productive in terms of like household things, just because I have the day off and I can kind of start the day really emotionally motivated. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today. Oh, I do have a special project that I wanted to start tomorrow. It's not a yarn project, but it is like a holiday project. So if I feel up to it, I have a special project I'm going to work on tomorrow. So I will show you that. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.